All right, we're live, guys.
Oh, we're live. Welcome to Cash Daddies. We're banking fatties. We're doing live stuff. We're here with Howie, Dewey, Johnny Woodard, and me, Sweet Sammy T. Guys, are you excited about the Boston Celtics?
No, of course not.
It's so crazy how nobody's talking about the. I feel like it's already gone. The story's done. Nobody cares. The NBA's got problems, dog. They got real problems.
I mean, they're not WNBA problems where they're losing $50 million a year, but they do have problems. Yeah.
Johnny, do you know the no? Yeah, well, that it was 20, but they decided because social pressure, they're going to give them private airlines to private charter planes. So they just doubled their debt. And just these, and it's so crazy because everyone's going nuts about how like violent they are against Caitlin Clark. But you guys know the number one demographic for cops being called on domestic violence calls is lesbians. You know that, right? That's the
really?
number one demographic.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
They're always beating the shit out of each other constantly.
Yeah, they got tempers.
They got tempers, dude. They're fighting over who's actually going to pay for the bill. That's what they're fighting over most time. There's no guy here who's
they just keep going to the bathroom at the same time. You know?
yeah.
Dude, a kid I went to high school with, Evan's uncle, was dating some girl who had a lesbian girlfriend on the side. She got a little hot one night, a little upset, and went over and stabbed him about 75 times.
Oh my God.
Yeah, lesbian quarrel. That was like 20-something years. She's still in jail. Yeah, she cut him up.
Is he dead?
Tempered. He's dead. She freaking butchered him, man. You get a pissed off lesbian and they will go to town on you.
Yeah, they just really buy into all that, like chicks can beat up guy stuff. And then the cops come, they don't know who to take to jail. Do they take neither of you to jail? There's no guy to take to jail. So they just whatever guy walks by, they arrest him and throw him in jail. That's how they do it when they do domestics. But it's like it's so interesting because they're talking about Jason Tatum is going to get the biggest contract of all time in the NBA, and which is crazy to me because the ratings were not good for this NBA. And this is everything that you kind of want is a big famous market team and like Luka, who's and nobody watched it. 10 million people, which sounds like a lot. If this episode got 10 million people, we'd be the happiest people in the world. But the NBA is just it's slowly but surely like losing its marketplace.
Yeah, it's this was I don't know. I can't. I have no idea. I mean, I thought it was a great year with the Knicks doing well, but I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, what would be the more ideal matchup? I guess would be the Knicks, right? And then
the Knicks versus the Lakers the NBA would just cream itself.
But that's it, right? I mean, you can't get much better than what this is. I mean, there are a couple of teams, that are kind of on the fringes.
Well, it's just like how do you stop just a 40-point deficit? That's the NBA's problem. How do you stop that?
You don't. You get blown out. Well,
I don't know if that's true. Then they're done. Then stick a fork in it. The NBA's done. It's like you got to be able, like, dude, do not turn your NBA into what people think the WNBA is, which is just 3-pointers and layups. They want the dunks. They don't want to see something they could see at the Y. Okay. They want guys who are huge dunking on huge guys. That's what they want.
Yeah. I mean, it's like baseball. In baseball, who do you want? I mean, you want the MLB wants the Dodgers versus the Yankees. That's who they want.
Right.
That would be ideal. I think you got a good chance of seeing that this year.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude.
Maybe so. I mean, the Dodgers just took some hits. I know. I mean, Mookie broke his wrist, and then Yamamoto's out. So they'll. I mean, I'm sure they'll do something at the deadline. They always manage to figure out something, even though they've been trading all their players.
Oh God, we're in trouble.
I think the Yankees will be there for sure, though.
Yeah, we look good. I'm not gonna lie, we look good.
I mean, you guys do look good, even though we wrecked you. You guys did look good.
Ohtani, that fucking Ohtani, man. He's not human. Ohtani is AI. He is AI.
Dude, if he comes back and pitches, he will be the best player ever to play baseball.
Ever.
Because
Ever. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. And that's crazy because he's a DH. I mean, that's which you wouldn't think that would be possible for some guy who DHs a lot of the time. But I mean, like if he goes back, you think they'll put him back in the field once he's over this injury? Like, do you think they'll put him back in the field or just keep him at DH? Why would they? Right? Why risk it?
Why risk it?
Yeah. They say he's coming back. He'll pitch again, which is insane.
Probably won't be till next year.
I mean,
they're not going to rush it.
But if he does come back, I mean, he's another Babe Ruth is what he is.
He's a Babe Ruth.
And Babe Ruth didn't even pitch toward the end. I mean, Babe Ruth pitched a couple of times, just kind of almost as a gimmick, kind of later in his career, and was great every time. But
right, I'm with you.
Which is crazy. Think about that. A guy who was one of the best pitchers, and then they were just like, "Don't worry about it." And then sometimes he would just come back and pitch for a laugh, like complete game shutout, whatever. No big deal.
So crazy, right? Just so crazy.
300 pounds, just.
A lot of shit going on in business in the market in the last week.
Yes.
So insane amount of stuff going on.
Insane in the membrane.
Look, I'm gonna say this, and the Patreons will back me. We've been just crushing the past 4 months. We crushed Dell. I got out of Dell thinking I was the man with a nice 40% gang. About 5 patrons held on to it. They got out today up 220%.
Wow.
Last time we saw you, Uber was at $63. It's above 70 now. So.
Oh man, big. Yeah, dude, I held on to my Uber.
Yeah, it's up.
Just keep
I held on to my Uber, dude.
Well, it's like Johnny.
It's
Johnny's
buying some more.
philosophy. If it drops below 70, 65, it's like Bitcoin. You buy more. And Johnny, you may have a chance to buy more Bitcoin because that looks like it's headed to 60.
I have been. Yeah. If it goes now, my line now moved up a little bit to 65. So if I buy it below 65 now, I think, because it seems like that's going to be the new kind of playing field for Bitcoin for the foreseeable future, is like 60 to 70. It's going to be kind of bouncing between there. And then, it's hurt the altcoins a little more than Bitcoin. This kind of pullback with Bitcoin. You're seeing a bunch of them just like tank hard. But I feel like, I mean, I enjoy talking about it, don't get me wrong, but it's such, I mean, those grounds shift so quickly in crypto. I mean, we could blink and, tomorrow Bitcoin's back at 73 or it's in an all-time high, 77. It does seem like, though, Howie, I'm curious what you think about this, that with the institutional investment now in crypto, especially Bitcoin, the volatility is down some.
100%. Just blame it on the ETFs, and that's what it is. You got all these ETFs. Now everybody can buy Bitcoin. I could take $10 and go out and buy some Bitcoin. So, yeah, it does. You're not going to see, at least for a while, you're not going to see the fluctuations that you have in the past. Just not. I mean,
unless they want to tank it, right? And then they want the price to go down. Then they're like, oh, look, it's down. We're going to buy more.
I mean, yeah, you could, and you could have hedge funds, like you saw with some of these stocks that short it. You could have, that short it and watch it drop. You could have that, but for the most part, there's so much owned by companies like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, BlackRock, UBS. They own so much of it. So, the little guy doesn't own it anymore. They took control of that pretty quickly. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, dude.
Remember 2 years ago when everybody
we're
was
living in
talking
crazy time.
It's a new currency, man. It's going to be the new currency.
They say that's back. I mean, well, what is our currency now, dude? I mean, okay, I want to hear Howie, who doesn't believe in any conspiracies. What is your thoughts on the Saudis pulling out of the petrodollar deal? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it has. I don't think it's going to affect anything. I mean, look at the dollar; it's not moving. The dollar's backed by the U.S. government and the economy, baby, and it's cranking right now. So, I think we got the rest of the world by the balls. I mean, I really do. Look at these other economies; they're having problems. We're not. I mean,
but what is our dollar backed by?
I mean, it's basically backed by the United States government. Bonds is backed by Treasury bonds, and basically the strength of the economy. That's what it's backed by. I mean,
Johnny, your thoughts?
Well, I'm just reading. I'm trying to go ahead.
If our economy shit the bed, if you had major corporates just tanking, not hitting profits, if you had everything in the country, unemployment go through the roof, if all this happened, I think you'd see the dollar drop. The dollar would tank. We'd have major problems. But God damn, it's just not. It's happening in other countries, not ours. It could now, not to say it could in the future, absolutely, but not right now. It's just not. I mean,
like, you don't think this is crazy that our dollar really it doesn't represent any kind of measurement of precious metals, any kind of resource, anything like that. It's literally, it's just make believe at this point.
No, because I do think that theoretically it is backed by a shitload of natural resources. I mean, not just metals, but I mean, look at the resources we have in this country that other countries don't have. Look where we ship all our grain. I mean, all our agricultural product. Is there any country, Johnny, in the world that ships more agricultural net products than we do?
I can let me find out about that. But you know, this reminds me of this
Brazil.
This I mean, this reminds me of this documentary I just watched called The Grab. And we talked about it on Broken Simulation, but it's I'll hit what it is briefly because it ties right in what you're talking about. You've got like Saudi Arabia in the 90s pumped all their groundwater up to support agriculture. And you can watch the satellite images of the middle of the desert. You see all these things pop up, these green circles where they were pumping this groundwater up to grow food. And then as the decade goes on, they get smaller and smaller until it's just all brown again. And so they're out of water over there, like groundwater. They've just used it all. And what they're doing, because we have states in this country that will allow unlimited groundwater access if you own land. They're coming over here buying land, growing crops, and then just shipping it all back home at a cut rate. And I mean, that's got to be our next line of defense, you know, against the collapse of this economy is securing food resources. It sounds like, because I mean,
it's just like, dude, do you have any faith in our leaders at all to do anything?
China's doing it. UAE is doing it, like at a big level.
Yeah. I mean, we ship, you know, states like Nebraska, Iowa, they ship more fucking grain and basically natural foods around the world. I mean, more than any other country. That's all we do.
I got your answers, guys, and you both are right here. The U.S. is number one. The U.S. is one of the top food exporters. It accounts for approximately 140 billion in food exports. Brazil, Sam, is also a major exporter with soybeans, corn, coffee, sugar, orange juice, beef, and chicken meat. Netherlands, actually, despite its small size, is a powerhouse.
Johnny,
in
you're
food
such
exports.
a chicken meat.
China, Germany, France, Canada, and Australia, according to ChatGPT.
We're way out there, aren't we, Johnny? I mean, it
appears
like
so. Yeah.
I mean,
Brazil's the closest.
If you asked me what, you know, the dollar's backed by, I would say, you know, along with Treasury, along with bonds and debt instruments, I would say, you know, basically the economy, our economy and natural resources. And if those things were to really tank, I think you'd see the dollar tank too. And, you know, will it happen? Yeah, it probably will someday.
Well, we know that China knows that because they have internal documents from the Chinese government about them targeting our agriculture and trying to come over here and buy land. And like they, you know, remember that big story from like a decade ago when they bought Smithfield, was it? So the Chinese now technically own like 1 in 4 hogs that are grown in this country. 1 in 4 pigs grown in this country are Chinese owned by technically the government, the bank. The program was this: the banks were like, hey, we'll give you whatever you want, If
Our
this is your
government
goal,
are treasonous scumbags.
the Chinese
They're
government.
just
sorry.
treasonous scum.
Yeah, but
No, the people that allow this to happen, scumbags.
yeah, but I mean, did you see the tariffs that they put on the Chinese EVs today? That's pretty insane. I mean, good luck buying a Chinese EV now. I think. What did you see the tariffs? What are they? 4 times now? Is it, Johnny? 4 times to buy a Chinese
Tariff everything. Tariff
Well, I
everything
think
from
this
these
is
countries that do
yeah.
cheap labor.
Well, they did today.
I think this is a move to preempt Donald Trump, because this is one of his big points, and I think they're trying. This is a political thing, to you know what I mean, to kind of like when they get on that debate stage, he can say, hey, I've in his own bumbling way, I've done the exact same thing with tariffs. I'm just trying to find the story here. China targets Europe's farmers. Oh, it's interesting. Okay, so they're in response to these tariffs on their EVs, it sounds like they are taking aim at European farmers instead of German automakers. I don't quite understand that. Anyway, China. Yeah, China. I think, there's a lot of scaremongering with China, but it's possible that without being explicitly evil, China's interests can just be opposed to ours. You know what I mean? Like in just doing the business of China, they can be something dangerous to the United States. And I think that's more like reality.
Well, I got into it the other night with somebody, and he was like, yeah, man. He goes, we're really close to war with China. And I said, of all the countries in the world, that's the country that we're the furthest away. We won't go to war with China. China will never go to war with us. Because if China went to war with the United States, who the fuck would buy their products? They wouldn't sell a product.
So if China invaded Taiwan, what do you think would happen, Howie? You don't think they will?
Let them, dude. I think they're going to just let them, dude.
They have to.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to let them.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing, man. Look, the United States and China, they can't go to war with each other because they'll both be bankrupt. I mean, you can't.
None of them can.
China's got to love the United States, because can you imagine if we went to war with China and we just stopped buying their products? What they would be done. They would be done. We buy everything from China. I don't care if it's a refrigerator, a stove, car parts, fucking detergent. Look at Walmart. What does Walmart sell that's not made in China? I'd love to know.
I mean, all these big box stores are like that, aren't they?
Yeah, so I don't think, I think they'll, we'll fight, we'll have our arguments, and we'll put some tariffs, and they'll go 6 months without selling us refrigerators or freezers or ovens, and then they'll figure it out. But I think it's just going to be like a, big brother, little brother quarrel for the next 10, 20 years.
Who's the big brother in that story?
I think they take turns, man. I think they take turns.
Oh, topping and bottoming each other?
Yeah.
I knew that was coming.
Come on, Johnny. Stop giving away my secrets.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Hey, you mentioned EVs. Fisker, one of the big early movers in that market, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They were expecting or hoping for an investment to kind of keep them afloat, and it didn't come along. So they're in Chapter 11 now.
Who is this?
Fisker. Not Fisker.
Fisker?
Not Fisker. No, yeah, Fisker.
We actually made
Fisker.
money. We made money buying and selling that company 3 years ago, Fisker. I mean, we've actually made money. Then we sold it, never bought it back. And, it's kind of like Plug Power. It just keeps going down. You got Fisker and you got Plug. And I don't know if that's a conspiracy theory, but Fisker and Plug both have dropped. They both have hit rock bottom.
But can I just say, this is the second company that the guy who has named the company after himself, Henrik Fisker, has, remember, because there used to be this car called the Fisker Karma. Do you remember that? That company also went bankrupt, and now he's got another Fisker car, bankrupt again. Why does anybody give this guy money? Like,
I don't know, man. It's yeah. I mean, that they're done. So speaking of EVs, Elon Musk got that nice $40 billion pay package.
Yes, he did. He went and got it his own way, right? They've had to vote for it, but
he did.
He said, "Take a hike.
My way.
Getting my money."
40.
Well,
my favorite part is
this argument, and I mean they're probably right to pay him, whatever. I mean, once you get to a certain amount of money, or what are we even talking about? But the argument was that they were like, listen, if we don't pay him this much, he won't be able to give all the attention he needs to Tesla, to keep the company afloat. Which is like real. I mean, his fate is so entwined with Tesla that he's not. That's a bullshit argument. I mean, I'm fine for him to be compensated that much because maybe he's worth something like that. I don't know. But
well, and I mean those big funds, those big mutual funds are the ones that got it passed it through, because they have so many billions of dollars invested in him. So, and look, Tesla's it's $184. If it drops below 180, we'll be buying it. So if that thing drops below 177, 178, we'll be back on it.
So you still like it? Like at that price, even at that price.
Trade it. I like to trade. I like it under 180. I think under 180, it's pretty good. Yeah, I do.
But absolutely. What? Just to make a quick buck, or do you like it long term?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a $250, $300 stock long term, probably in the next couple of years. I mean, what was it up? It was up to 450, I think. It could get back there.
Yeah. There was a story this week that they're just sitting on a ton of inventory. Did you see that story that you can see the Tesla inventory from space? Like they have these giant lots, EV lots in their, out back of their factories that they're visible from satellites, which is like, what the fuck?
What's amazing with this whole EV thing, and Tesla included, is when are they going to come out and talk about the mining problem? Because that's a problem. The way they're mining for these batteries and shit, I mean, they say it's deadly as hell. It's a problem.
You're talking about, what do they call those things? I can't remember. But yeah, it's also going to be that's kind of like a new battle line, right? In the future between countries kind of competing for these resources. It's kind of what diamonds used to be almost. It's like,
they don't really talk. They don't talk too much about that. Kids making our shoes over, and it's the same shit. You've seen pictures of those kids mining for that cobalt. That's a nightmare.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Kids just toss them in poison. So, I mean, I don't know. The whole EV thing, it's the future, though. They say it's all going there.
I think it has to, but, I mean, they're just not going to give us any other choice, are they?
No. It doesn't look like it.
One company, Howie, that you've traded a lot also is Occidental Petroleum, and it looks like Warren Buffett is moving big into Occidental. He's pushed his stake to nearly 29% over 9 straight days.
Damn.
I know. It's like he's taking over the company.
Interesting, right?
I mean, that's one that, the patrons ask. I love it. It pays a dividend. It's at $61. And I think that's probably one to own over the next couple of years.
The Omaha, Nebraska-based conglomerate, that's Buffett's for Berkshire Hathaway, purchased Occidental shares every trading day from June 5th to this past Monday, totaling an additional 7.3 million shares with purchases slightly under or above $60. The purchases brought Berkshire's holdings to 255 million shares, a little over that, representing a nearly 29% stake. That's the 6th biggest stock holding now at Berkshire Hathaway.
Yeah, I mean, the wizard is rarely wrong, so you have to acknowledge what the hell he's doing. I mean, that's probably an $80 stock.
Well, let's see what it is now.
61, I believe.
That feels like something like, hey, follow that guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't moved much since he bought it. Follow that guy.
Yeah. But he bought a lot more of it.
Fascinating.
So I'll tell you another thing too. Treasury bonds. I mean, 10-year treasuries now. Mortgage rates are dropping. Rates are dropping.
Finally.
Yeah, it's looks like it could be time to buy a house.
The prices are still pretty low in certain parts of the country, right?
Yeah, I mean, you want to move to
Where
Florida.
would you guys buy right now?
Well,
we should all go in on that Tennessee mountain that you could buy.
Let's see where top residential market.
Jacksonville, Florida is people. The insurance.
That's a nice area.
But the problem with Florida is insurance rates have gone up so high because of all the hurricanes and shit that people are moving out of Florida again. People are leaving Florida.
People are leaving Florida. Why?
Because insurance rates
too many
too high.
people.
No,
Oh, really?
insurance rates.
The
Insurance
hottest U.S. housing markets right now are Denver, Raleigh, North Carolina, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Durham, North Carolina, and Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina is exploding. Raleigh, Durham is that triangle's insane. Ton of people moving there.
That's from U.S. News and World.
I got so many friends that move down there. Taxes are low. You're inland.
That's the big thing. The taxes. North Carolina.
Where?
Yeah.
North Carolina, Johnny. Let's get a bunker, dog.
Dude, the real estate is dirt cheap. If you go in the just outside the cities a little bit, they're giving it away. They want people to come in and buy.
Mosquitoes?
Only certain times a year.
Mosquitoes.
Only certain times a year.
Ugh. And the weather's bad?
No, the weather's great.
Weather's beautiful. North Carolina?
I mean, you get a little rain, but that's it. It's not.
I mean, you're right in the middle. You can go watch college football, college basketball. You got it all there.
Yeah. Drive down to see the Braves.
Yeah, not far. Yeah, 4 hours from Charlotte. Charlotte should get it. They need a
go to Cherokee Casino.
Oh yeah, that's right on the Georgia border. Harris, yeah.
It's a good little casino there. But yeah, I thought that was kind of surprising to me to see that 3 of the top 5 housing markets right now are in the Carolinas or in North Carolina. And Virginia Beach too. That's a nice spot.
People are leaving Florida, man. That's, you buy a house in Florida, you got to pay a ton of insurance, a ton of that flood or disaster.
Because of the hurricanes, right?
Yeah. So it's, Florida's clearing out. Jacksonville, Miami, housing prices are dropping.
The other big story today is that NVIDIA has finally toppled Microsoft as the world's most valuable company.
Whoa, hold on. The world's
IBM, most valuable company.
Microsoft is bigger than Apple?
It's AI, man.
Oh, yeah.
Chipmaker NVIDIA is now the world's most valuable company, unseating Microsoft as investors bet its AI dominance will remain unmatched.
So, Johnny,
holy shit.
Tell Sam the market cap of NVIDIA, because Sam's always talking how $1 billion is a lot of money.
Yeah, well, the chipmaker's market value is at it's actually gone and past 3.34 trillion on Tuesday, surpassing Microsoft's 3.32 trillion. Apple, which was unseated by both, has a market value of about 3.27 trillion dollars.
NVIDIA's market cap is what, more than 95% of the world's countries' GDP.
Should I just buy one share at a time of NVIDIA?
I don't. I whenever I look at NVIDIA, I'm like, is this too late? And it keeps going up, of course, but at some point it's got to stop going up, right?
It's got to go down, dog. It's got to go down, dog.
It's going to drop. I mean,
it has to. This AI thing, I don't know if it's a bubble, because I don't even think we are like 5% into what AI is going to be in 10 years. Like, I don't even think we're 5% down that road yet. It's just being integrated now in the new. I mean, Apple this week just announced their AI integration.
Yeah, and everybody's freaking out about that shit.
Yeah, wrongly so. I think the part they're freaking out about is that for limited applications, and you have to agree to this, they will use ChatGPT, which means that some of your data is going to ChatGPT. But everything else, like most of the stuff, until you get to that threshold, is done locally on your phone and never leaves your phone.
So what is NVIDIA at per stock? 135 bucks?
Yeah, it's at 100, but you got to remember, it just split 10 for 1. 10 for 1. So whatever it's trading at, and multiply it times 10. So $1,350 is the true market value of a real share.
So should you buy it now at $135?
I think it'll drop back 5-10%. I really do.
It has to, right?
Yeah.
But do you think it will ever get into like $200, $300 to make it worth buying?
Oh yeah. I mean, eventually, sure. Yeah.
Someday.
But everything else is going to be going. I mean, every other company that is in this, like I got into this AI
sexually.
there's an AI ETF called Bots, BOTZ, that I got into like 2 years ago, and dude, it's way up. If you want to get into AI, I would, because then you kind of spread the risk around a little bit. And you're not just dependent on Nvidia, but they have a big part of their growth is from Nvidia. But
what about Chat GPT?
It's fueling everything, isn't it? Elon's got his problems with it. And he's been going hard against it on Twitter. But they were first to market with the best tech, and for the foreseeable future, they're going to dominate that space. There are privacy concerns, but they're iterating. They're already at ChatGPT 4.0. I don't know if that's it's just an O. I don't know what that means, but and they've brought some of their services down market so that it's not a premium service anymore. You can just go in there and try it. Their best shit without paying. I don't know what their end game is, honestly. But it's fascinating.
Well, switching it up a little bit here. This is where Johnny's going to come into play. Johnny's going to be important here because I got, the Wall Street information that the Patreons get, and we went hard in the paint yesterday buying Disney calls. We bought Disney calls for 2 reasons. Number one, it seems that movie that just came out did fairly well. But the word that I'm getting, Johnny, is that this new Wolverine movie that's coming out, I think July 23rd, they say will beat every movie that's ever come out in the history of the world at the box office. Is that true?
The Dune Deadpool movie. Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine is what it's called. Yeah, or that's the prim. I think it's like Deadpool 3 Wolverine.
Why is that? Do you think that's shocking? Do you think if you put inflation together that it would be bigger than E.T. or any of those movies opening?
I don't know, but that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. They're saying it's going to beat every record that there's ever has been on this movie. So because of some of this information, we went in and bought calls yesterday, and Disney's up nicely. It's up a little bit. It's at 101. We bought the 105s. I'm thinking this thing might jump up to 110 here over the next couple of weeks. I don't know. But
I know they're getting hammered because of that fucking Star Wars show. That sucks. It's just if it wasn't a Star Wars show, it was just a new sci-fi thing, it'd be like, all right, whatever. But they are, with this show, just spitting in the face of their hardcore fans, which are the people who buy that shit and watch it over and over again. Again, that's where they're in trouble.
Can operate in a way where forever, like whatever Disney did or Star Wars did, that it just made money. Then you're not following the rules. It's like the WNBA, right? Like the WNBA never made money, so it doesn't have to follow the rules of business. They could do whatever the F they want to. So now you got this thing where it's just like, it's like someone will come in and clean up Disney's debt. Someone will go the Fed. Somebody will do that. That's just how it always fucking goes. And that they're just pushing this shit. And the problem is nobody's watching it. And they're getting their asses kicked. And anybody who thought putting a feminist in charge of a male brand is the dumbest person on the planet.
Well, you've got the star. The star of the show has a quote where, did you see the star of the show has it now? It was on the Daily Show, so I tongue in cheek possibly, but she's got this quote that's going around the internet where she was talking about one of the last big projects she worked on, where the goal of the thing was to make white people cry. You know what I mean? And that quote's just getting passed around. Now, I think that was a little out of context, but clearly it's meant to be inflammatory to the base.
Yeah, but let me stop you. No, nobody's gonna say, Sam. Nobody's gonna clean up Disney's debt because Disney doesn't have any debt. They don't have debt, Sam. The company makes money. They have a dividend that they pay shareholders. They don't have debt. So it's not like a company that needs help. They don't need any help.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. But these losses on these projects, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm with you there. I mean,
they're offset.
I agree with you, Howie, on what you're saying. Obviously, they're paying out dividends. Obviously,
they got money. But they've done, like, I agree with you. I think they've done some shitty projects in the past that I'm sure they're trying to get away from that because the shareholders don't like that when their stock's tanking. Look at Paramount. Look at Paramount. You want to talk about a company in the shitter? Look what Sherry Redstone's doing over at Paramount. They could have gotten bought out last week at $15 a share from David and Larry Ellison, Skydance. At the last second, no one really knows why, but she said no. And the stock's gone from $12 to under $9 in the past 4 days. So, that's a company that's in deep shit, is Paramount. But I think Disney, that's why I asked Johnny about that movie. It looks like the hype behind this Wolverine movie is the real deal, and they can make a lot of money off of it. That would pump the stock up, and that's what we want. At least
it's going to be huge. I mean, you look, the Bad Boys movie, the new Bad Boys movie with Will Smith, who I thought was, people were finally sick of, is over $1 billion now in box office. So,
I mean, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, Martin Lawrence looks like, I mean, we love Fat Black. We love Fat Black action heroes.
He's rough.
Him, Queen Latifah. I know she's on Ozempic now, but bro, we can't get enough of Fat Black action heroes. We just can't get enough.
Completely
Speaking of Ozempic, with the Patreons, we went in hard today and we bought, because it dipped under 250. We went in and bought some McDonald's calls. Which,
really?
Yeah. It's only dropped below 250 twice. Once back in May and once today, and it actually dead cat bounced. So it finished close to 251. We bought it when it was under 250. McDonald's. And McDonald's has been hurt because of Ozempic. There's no doubt about it.
You really think so?
Yeah.
Dude, that's what I mean. There's talk now of these fast food chains changing their menus because of this shit. And restaurants doing the same thing, like changing their menus, smaller portions. So I mean, it's a real thing. Howie's been right about this since the beginning.
You don't have
widespread.
You don't have lines and lines of those fat bastards going in buying Big Macs anymore, man. That Ozempic shit's working. And I'll tell you another thing. Another stock that we're holding before going into the 4th of July, TAP. But the biggest thing hurting Budweiser and Tap and all these beer companies, the biggest thing that's hurting them?
What?
Marijuana, weed.
Yeah.
Because weed's getting legalized everywhere. Guys that used to drink a lot of beer, they're not. They're taking a couple hits.
Which is why they fought it coming legal for so long. They literally said that was going to happen.
You're right. You're right, Sam. You are right. That is why. That's why these big beer companies and alcohol companies, they didn't want weed becoming legalized because it's killing their profits. You can see it. It's happening right now. So, Tap's one that's just dropped a lot. We went in, bought it because of value. I think it'll jump up a little before the 4th. Hopefully we make a little profit on it. But the weed companies are killing the beer companies. No doubt about it.
Right on. Let's see what else going on. Did you Howie see just the kind of did you I mean, this is a little political, but did you see that Trump media shares were down big, like 17% because
25% today.
Is it 25% now? Oh,
between the day and after hours, it went down like 25%. They, it's a fake company. I mean, the company's garbage.
Well, yeah, it sounds like they're going to add they're going to come out. They're going to dilute the shares basically, which is the price was going. Why? I don't quite understand why they would do that. Can you explain that? That's what I wanted to ask you.
I mean, they want to, any person, any executive, they want to add more shares and come out and bullshit and pump the price up because that's more money in their pocket.
So the idea is they create shares and they keep a big chunk of them. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know who it hurts? It hurts the shareholders. Because if you and I own shares, we don't want them issuing more shares because it dilutes our price.
It's like the U.S. dollar.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. So I'll tell you another company that happened to, Johnny. The same thing. It's GME. GME went out and issued more shares, diluted the shit out of it, and what's that stock down to 25 now?
Which it sounds like Roaring Kitty made his money out of it, though, didn't he? Didn't he?
I mean, if he sold, which something tells me he did, you know, and what did we say? We said if you buy companies like AMC and GME, 95% of the people that buy it are going to lose money. 5% of those guys that get in early and get out, they'll make money. And that's what happened, man. Most people lost their ass on GME.
I mean, it was down 13% yesterday, and just above $25 is hype cool. They had I'm trying to find the meme stock influencer, that's Keith Gill, you know, Roaring Kitty, named it last month, you know, tried to hype things last month. But GameStop, this is the GameStop CEO on their call, was saying, we're not here to make promises or hype things up. We're here to work. That's what I mean, you know, he says that, but they've owned this thing from the beginning. He's trying to play it down. A proposal passed during the meeting that saw GameStop's board of directors appointed for another year. It seems like, though, this conference call, you know, them not leaning into the hype actually hurt the price of the stock, which I thought was interesting. That's the take of this.
Yeah, I mean, he came on and everybody was like, Roaring Kitty, man, he's going to say some positive shit. This stock's going to go through the roof. And the opposite happened. I mean, the stock actually went down. He didn't really say anything.
Yeah.
So
anyway, fascinating. I'm always, you know, it's you just gotta get. That's just that's like gambling. That's really where it's like gambling. If you want to make plays with the meme coins and
I'm going to say this right now. The biggest problem with crypto right now, in my humble opinion, are these exchanges that do not allow you to pull your money when you want to and exchange your money they're all set up to control the price of these cryptos so that you, like, I can't sell big chunk. And right now I'm down on a coin I bought and a big chunk of money, and I'm down. I tried to sell it when I was even, it wouldn't let me do it. I tried to flip it to another coin, it wouldn't let me do it.
What do you mean it wouldn't let you? What was the
I was trying to turn one of my coins into USDC.
Yeah, USD coin. Yeah,
it wouldn't let me do it.
But what were you getting? What was it saying? What was the prompt? Like what popped up?
Said it wouldn't work.
But you know why? I'm going to say this could be a reason. I'm not positive. But Sam, was it a small amount of buyers and sellers that own that coin?
Yeah, it could be a liquidity thing.
Yeah, because that sounds like a liquidity issue. Like you wanted to sell, but they didn't have enough buyers.
That's certainly possible. They could lie about that too, though. I mean, certainly.
Well, all I wanted to do was exchange it, though.
Huh.
Yeah, but you still need.
I'm down. It just keeps going down, and now I'm down big. And they just
no. I mean, I've seen that a few times, especially with one of these coins that we were recommended.
Oh man. I mean, everything's down right now.
No, everything's down right now.
Everything's down. So, I mean, this coin is done pretty well overall, but man, I'm taking a little beating on it right now.
Yeah, like Node AI is down 45% on the month here. That's rough.
Yeah. Johnny, thank you.
Hey, I'm in there too, dude. I'm knee deep in that shit.
You're in the jungle.
My ass, dude. Just getting fucked.
You should stake it. Stake it. You get, it's like a 34% APY right now if you stake it, Sam.
That's what Richard, stake it like Dickie Hart says, man. Just stake it. And
I hate all you guys right now.
10 years, it'll be worth 75 million.
I hate you.
I mean, honestly, if you're not doing anything with it, those are e-contracts, so you're not going to get screwed. I mean, they will give you your coin back. Now, if it's not worth anything in 30 days, that's the minimum lockup. Fine, but if you're not going to move it anyway, you might as well stake it. Honestly.
Okay.
That's crazy.
But crazy. Yeah, everything is down.
Yeah. I mean, Bitcoin's what, at 65, Johnny?
Maybe even a touch under. Let me see. Hold on. I was just headed up here.
Probably a good buy.
Yeah, that's my line now. It's moved up to, no, it's a little over 65. Yeah, 65.1 right now. 65.1. But it was at just like a few minutes ago. It was at 64.4, 64.1 actually.
Hey, you know the way that works. You get a volatile coin or volatile stock. Look, we've had these toast calls for 3 weeks, and they were down to 35 cents. And as soon as somebody said we're toast on toast, the thing went up 12% today, and those calls were up 220%. So
what is toast? I don't know. What is toast?
TOST?
Yeah, what is that?
It's basically what it is. It's a new technology. It's like a software that restaurants are using. And like they'll come in and they'll look at everything you have, what you have in your refrigerators, your freezers, tell you how long this meat will last, how many employees you need working. Basically, it gets the most out of your restaurant. That's what it is. It's a software. Like everyone's using it.
That's kind of cool.
It is, and it's legit. So
is it like point of sale too? Like they do like all the checking out and all that shit, or is it just like an optimization kind of thing?
It's more of an optimization. That's a good way to put it, Johnny. It's more of an optimization software. Huh. Yeah, and restaurants are using it because it's saving them, hundreds of thousands of dollars in losses. So yeah, it's doing well. But the thing started cranking today, and shit, some of these guys crushed it. So. You never know, man. You're never out of it. You're not out of it. You're always in the game.
Let's see. What did I have anything else? Well, there was Claudia Sam. I think that's how you say it, right? She's warning that the Fed is playing with fire by not cutting rates. What do you think about that?
I think they will, but I don't understand why she's saying that, because even though the Fed's not cutting rates, the 10-year Treasury was down today. It's almost down to 4%. So I think they will cut rates, but I don't think they really need to. They don't need to right now. So
her opinion was that the Federal Reserve is risking tipping the economy into contraction by not cutting rates now. She is the originator of the SAM rule, SAHM. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And it's apparently been accurate in the past. She says that her baseline is not recession, but it's a real risk. And I do not understand why the Fed is pushing that risk. I'm not sure why what they're waiting for. The worst possible outcome at this point is for the Fed to cause an unnecessary recession. She's saying that this is the SAM rule, which is kind of this ratio, is at 0.37 right now, whatever that means. But that apparently that's a flashing warning sign that they should cut rates at this point. So. And it's predicted every recession going back to 48, apparently. So,
well, I think they are going to cut rates. Probably in the next 3 to 6 months, they'll start cutting them a little bit. But I don't see any recession yet. Not to say we could definitely get one, but things look pretty positive. It's a friggin' market, it's cranking.
To hit back on EVs for a second too, I just thought this was kind of just a quick thing to hit that was interesting. This is from CNBC. The traditional Detroit automakers, GM, Ford Motors, and Stellantis, should exit the Chinese market. This is the quote, as soon as they possibly can, according to Bank of America's top automotive analyst on Tuesday. The warning from BofA Securities research analyst John Murphy comes amid unprecedented competition in China, the world's largest auto market. And as the country significantly increases vehicle production for Chinese consumers, as well as for global exports, Murphy, who has previously asked GM about exiting the market, said the D3 automakers need to focus on their core products and more profitable regions. I think you have to see the D3 exit China as soon as they possibly can. China is no longer core to GM, Ford, or Stellantis. That's kind of interesting. So it sounds like that the local companies there are finally kind of figuring out how to make fucking cars. And with the government, all the government support they get there, it's going to be a dangerous place and a place of loss in the future for the American automakers.
You buy a you buy an EV over there for what, 8-10 grand?
Yeah, crazy. The interesting thing is going to be when they come here. If we don't get some kind of protectionist stuff going on with the auto, more than we have now. When those start to break in this market and really get money behind them, here.
Well, yeah, you're going to have to raise tariffs. They did today. They pushed the tariffs up today. So.
But I don't. Even that doesn't sound like it's going to be enough.
Tariff everybody.
Yeah.
All the time.
Give them the tariff.
The FTC referred its TikTok complaint to the Justice Department, so it's in the Justice Department's hands. with TikTok now. That should be interesting. Another headline I just wanted to hit: more retirees are returning to work as high inflation is squeezing
it's just absolutely.
retirees.
We're just gonna work our way till we're dead.
I know. I hate that. That's something that has really been. I mean, and don't get me wrong. If you want to work, like, you know, my family, they all just want to keep working forever. My dad especially, but good. But if it's not, you know, live your life. You know, I mean, what are you working all these years for if you can't take a couple off at the end of it?
Yeah. Get your 80s. I'm looking at my dad. Jesus Christ, he can barely walk from playing hoops for 70 years. I told him the other day, I was like, you really should start doing heroin and cocaine right now. You know, pick it up at age 83, 84. That's when you want to start doing it.
I don't know about that.
Keith Richards, baby. Keith Richards.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, it's worked for him, hasn't it?
Keith
Although I heard that they looked like shit the other day. We're going to see him in July, me and Sam. But I heard that they had a rough outing. Maybe Mick Jagger was sick or something, but apparently.
Because in New Jersey, they were great. I had friends that went. They said they were unbelievable.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So I think Keith Richards started taking Ozempic about 30 years ago. He got the original. It
is funny, right? How many of those, like think about how skinny those rock guys are. Is it just from all the movement, you think?
Yeah.
It can't just be
constantly
from that, right?
moving. They eat good.
Do they eat good? They do drugs and eat potato chips backstage, don't they?
Eat dude. They always have like the best shit at their concert. They get catered.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like
they have riders like, oh, I want strawberries, a fucking 19-year-old virgin, you know, cheese.
Yeah, that's true.
A workout guy.
Yeah.
I mean, all these, right? Like Steven Tyler, the guys from the Black Crows, those sons of bitches are all skinny as hell. Even now.
Yeah, they just rock out and eat carrots. They're just chewing carrots and
just
celery
rocking out and eating
long.
carrots like a young Christian warrior.
What are you looking at, Howie, this week?
Dude, I mean, I think McDonald's is the buy of the year under $250. We bought McDonald's today. I like Caterpillar, McDonald's.
Why? I thought you were worried about McDonald's being hit by Ozempic.
Yeah, I think it has. It's down from like 300 to 250. So I think it's a good value play right here.
All right.
I like it.
They're not going anywhere, right? They're not going anywhere.
No. I mean, look, they don't have Ozempic in India. They're Russia, but they got McDonald's over there.
That's great. That was it. You brought up Russia. That was the other cool thing in this documentary. They are hiring American cowboys to go over there, and because Putin's got this big push for them to grow their own meat, because that was what they really missed in the 90s after the fall of communism. They didn't have a lot of their own beef production, you know, and meat, and so they're hiring and like paying just crazy salaries to these American cowboys to go over there and teach these guys, these Russians, how to wrangle cattle and ranch life basically. They're doing rodeos and shit. Thought that was kind of interesting.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is
fun.
That's the new frontier, though. Food and water. It sounds like.
Yeah, food and water. You got to have it.
All right, guys. Time to go to exclusive, the elusive, the magic land. A lot of people call it the #1 black strip bar on Patreon. That's right. Patreon.com/CashDaddies.
Magic City.
Magic City, dog. The Magic City of Patreon. Let's